Right, my class epiphany of yesterday. Let's start this section again.
You know I'm reading a lot.
Is anything serious in life? No.
Every week is different and no day is the same.
Myself, but that is giving tell me a fun fact about yourself, which no one likes. I feel this might be my fourth tea of the day. That needs to be sorted out. There are many reasons that I wanted to start this, and one of them is to bring a bit more order, a bit more structure into my life, because the Pisces sun in me needs to bring a bit more of the Virgo. You know what I mean? At the beginning of every week, I like to set myself 3 priorities from the week. Now, as I'm guessing the title includes, I'm self-employed, I'm a freelancer. If I don't want to work, no one is telling me to. These priorities just help me stay on track. Something that I'm very aware of about myself is I have so many ideas that I just know are going to be incredible, and I start them, and then I think of another idea, and then I start that, and then I think of another idea, and I start that, and then you get the picture. And I would really love to stop doing that and actually complete these ideas so they can be fully fledged living beings. You know what I mean? I don't know who'd said this, but there's a quote of, I don't even know what the quote something like, let me know if you know who said this or where it's from. Like, you can't get upset if someone else is doing your idea when your idea is just in your head. It only becomes a thing that you own when you create it. We're shifting into this new era of actually creating, and this is my accountability. You are my accountability. Anywho, with that being said, I've started this year setting myself 3 priorities for the week. Now, I've already learned not to set these 3 priorities as 3 things that couldn't be further away from each other. So this week, I feel they're closer. You let me know. Priority number 1, and if you're seeing this, it was a good priority, is creating this YouTube channel. Priority number 2, we are at the end of March, so I'd like to do a bit of a monthly reflection, Q1 reflection on the goals I set at the beginning of the year, which I feel like may have already shifted a bit, but we're gonna discover that this week. And third priority is promoting myself as a creative. Now, what do you mean by that? I can hear you ask. Keep watching to find out. We're saying an affirmation for every single week that I'm going to tell myself in these moments where I go, I can't do this. I need to start something else, because can you see I've assessed why things aren't working. I feel that that's clear. And that is, the more I create, the more I attract. And then we're finishing with an intention, which is to work with focus and fun. What more could you want? So my goal for today was to complete all of like the first step things. So changing my profile picture from the one I've had since I was maybe 15. Creating a banner, that's what I'm doing right now. All of the things that I brainstormed to put into a bit more consolidated plan. There was a few more things, but I need to check my diary for those. This is where we're currently at, and no, it's not going to stay like this. I would really like it to look like different stickers, and that centre banner is just so I can kind of see the area. We're going to make the stickers now. I need to look for some photos that I can turn into stickers. I'd also like to get outside again. A side goal for me at the minute is getting in 10,000 steps per day. 2 weeks ago, I did 3 out of 7. Is it 3? I don't know. 3 out of 7, I think. Then last week, I did 5 out of 7. And this week, I feel like I can go for the 7 out of 7. I am going to have one more tea, and then I feel like it might be an outdoor break time. Anyone else measure time in drinking tea? Or is that just me? And this is where we're at. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure about this. I feel like it needs to face the other way. Sometimes I have to question whether that's just me being a bit of a perfectionist, but let's try it because that's going to annoy me.
I started my day thinking that I was late because it is now light at 6 o'clock in the morning. I know this happens every year, but why do I always forget, one, what that feels like, and two, how to dress when it's not 5 degrees? Just food for thought. Okay, we've got a big day ahead. Let's go and get the train. I'm not gonna lie, I feel tired. It is 2 p.m. and I feel as though it could be 6:30. It's one of those days where I left the house at 6 and I think I will be home at 10:30, which is fine. I do really enjoy days like this, but I haven't done one in a while. I need a moment to chill in my car, which is what I'm doing now until I teach. So, what you just saw, I went to an audition in London, but this is the logistics that I think about on a regular basis. So, audition, I have teaching. I would like to do both. I can do both, but if I got the train back home and then drove to teaching, if I was late to get the train, there's traffic. You see what I mean? Then I can't teach at the same time. So you have to think ahead. So I drove to where I teach first thing in the morning, got the train from here, now I've walked back to my car, and now I'm here. I have an hour and a half to spare, which is great. So yeah, these are just the things that I have to think about and prepare for success, because I pre-planned this. It'd really help me if they could invent teleportation, then I wouldn't need to think about the whereabouts of my car. I could just get there. I'm going to eat some food. I'm going to do a big work stint after teaching, and I just need a moment now. I think I'm going to have a read on my Kindle. I'm currently reading Throne of Glass. I'm on my third book, and the third book for me is Assassin's Blade. I will say I haven't finished Assassin's Blade. I'm on now the 4th novella, but I don't know why at this point in time of reading people say to read this one first, because I would have been very confused, because I'm already like, the thing I feel about getting into fantasy is it can take a while to get into the world and to understand where you are. Like the first 100 or so pages, you're just like figuring it out. You're like, I can tell this is going to be good, but I don't know where I am. And I feel like that's happened again because I've gone backwards, which is fine, because I understand it a bit more, because I care about the main character. Right, I look back at that video I just took, and I'm not impressed. I was not impressed with how tired I look, so just giving a tidy. Something that I normally always have with me is dry shampoo, which I don't have right now, but that's okay. That is not what I want. All my clips today have obviously been in this car, but that's because I'm doing chill in the car, activity, chill in the car, activity, chill in the car, activity. I've got one more chill in the car and one more activity before we go home. So this week, my goal is to set my priorities like we did the other day, and then stick to them, and not add in something else and then just do a whole other list of things and go, oh, that's a good idea, and then do that, and then leave all of these started projects. We've already talked about this. I knew this was a thing, however, even though I've set this intention, I did not realise. I'm realising now. I'm realising more and more that it's going to change. My need, I'm like, oh, but let's do something else. Let's do this. So we've done well. I feel so much better for sticking to an idea. Because you see what happens is I go on this cycle. I was writing about this in my journal when I just sat down. I feel like at the minute I'm in this like phase of like not knowing what I want to do, but I could not be more crystal clear. That was not crystal clear. I couldn't feel, I can imagine, I can dream a more vivid description. What am I saying? Can you tell I'm reading a lot? No. The vision of what I desire to do moving forward in the future could not be clearer. It couldn't be clearer. I know exactly what it is, I know exactly why, I know exactly how it feels. All of those things tick. However, I convince myself that I don't know what I'm doing by the fact of I go, oh, I can't do it, oh, I can't do it, I can't do it. And so then I start doing something else. And then because I've started doing something else, I don't finish something. So then it continues, because I haven't finished it, I then go, oh, I can't do it because, I haven't finished it. It's like this continuous cycle. Does that make sense? I'm going to stop talking and drive to my next destination and read. I'm going to read. I've almost finished Assassin's Blade. This series is so good. And I know it's going to get better. I know it's going to get better. I know this is only the beginning. I love reading fantasy. I always used to be like, oh, I'm not sure what I would do to go back to that version of me that's going, I'm not sure, and force the book, because it's changed my life. It's changed my reading. It's changed the way I see the world. We'll talk about this another time.
This is the reality of the day I had yesterday.
Honestly, sometimes it feels like my life is just bags and bags and bags of different costume changes and different props throughout the day. And you've got to sort it out immediately, because otherwise this will stay like this. And then I'll be like, where is X? It's in one of these bags. So let's sort it out. This is the setup. I have an hour until I'm leaving to go to London. So I believe in myself that I can get this filmed in an hour. I'm only giving myself an hour. Let's see. Right, we are leaving the house. Sunglasses on the floor. How did they end up there? I was talking about this yesterday, but I am in the predicament of what do you wear when it's 14, 15, half 17? Do I wear a hoodie? Do I wear a coat? I feel like if it was the summer and it was 17, I don't know. Okay, let's go back to London. We're back at my desk. We're currently transferring files from memory cards from my phone to my laptop because I'm really in the mood to do some editing. I have been filming a lot over this week. Over just 4 days if you count this one. And I'm a bit lost of where I am. I think I know where I am in my brain, but I feel if I start putting stuff together, it will start to make sense. And again, we're staying on track with the projects. I am already starting to, obviously, this sounds like an obvious statement, I'm already starting to see the difference from focusing on the priority instead of chopping and changing. I will say that it is very much in my habitual behaviour in order to go, even just now, I've been filming today a video that I think will be up after this, so make sure you're subscribed in order to not miss out. It's all about getting back into art journey. I don't think the camera's focused on me. I think it's focused up here. Let's fix that. It's a video about me getting back into my art journey. Not to give any spoilers, but so far, I feel like I've learnt a few things, so if that would interest you, make sure you're subscribed. But yeah, I think do some editing. I am teaching this afternoon. Something from yesterday. After I left home yesterday, filming was non-existent. I think I filmed a video of me opening my lunch on the train. Yesterday afternoon, went to class. I like to go to class in London at least once a week. If I don't dance at all in a week, then my general well-being and my soul doesn't function as well, and I really noticed it. I had a light bulb moment when I was in class. Oh my god, I remember what it was. If you're like me and you are a performer, where when you're a performer you're not obviously always performing. I'm not in a show at the minute. Yeah, I'm doing odd jobs here and there. But even say I had a contract where I was doing a film, it would be for X amount of time, let's say 2 months, and then it's not like I sit in a job and then that is there until I decide to move on. This is a big topic
If you don't know much about the performing arts world, stick around. I will be sure to explain my perspective. Obviously, with doing a job like this, where you're not doing it all the time and you really, it's just yourself that's pushing you forwards. Really, it's just you. There are so many times where I've gone, what am I doing? Is anything ever going to happen? Am I ever going to get to where I want to be? What am I doing? Is this the right thing? 1,000 thoughts off of that theme, let's say. They are to varying degrees of just a little blip and like a big meltdown, let's call it. Every time we get through, and because I just don't know any other way, and I just can't live my life not being me, and this is me. That's a whole other topic that we can come back to another time. So when you're having these moments, a thing that obviously can come up quite a lot is, am I good enough? That am I good enough question that everyone questions themselves with, to varying degrees. And something about performing is, I think we're so drilled on, we need to be better, we need to be better, we need to be better, we need to be better. I have a lot I could say about that I'm not going to say right now. When really, sometimes what is to celebrate more is the fact that you keep going, rather than, it's that classic thing of enjoying the journey, not the destination. Instead of focusing on the why hasn't XYZ happened for me yet, focusing on the I'm doing so amazing because I'm going to keep going. And I'm really questioning myself, and there's a huge obstacle in the way, but I've come over the obstacle and I'm going to keep going, and that is to be celebrated more than XYZ. Does that make sense? I feel like when this was coming up in my head last night, it made a lot more sense to me than it is right now. Let me know. I don't know.
It is actually now Sunday. It's been 2 days since I filmed anything, but hey, it may be the weekend. I've just finished work now at 1 o'clock on a Sunday, and I worked yesterday. So here we are. I hope you enjoyed a week in my life as a creative entrepreneur. Every week is different and no day is the same. So if you want to see more of that, make sure that you are subscribed. This video is definitely more of an experiment for me to see how this kind of thing works. So if you have enjoyed and you've got to the end, let's comment a frog emoji. I'm actually kind of afraid of frogs, but the emoji is cute, isn't it? The only other thing to say, just as a conclusion for this week and as a theme of my life at the moment, my focus on the projects that I set out to do this week has dramatically improved. I don't think I've done any extra things, any extra projects that is, other than what I wrote down at the beginning of the week, which I don't know if that's ever happened. I'm always like, oh, I could do this and this and this and this and this. And I already am, one, feeling the success of that, which is the main thing, but two, also seeing the success of actually committing to something and then seeing the progress of that and then feeling better about it, instead of the opposite. More updates to come about that. Stay tuned for more. I think it might be a while before I do another one of these week in my life, day in my life things, because you actually really have to think about it. But anyway, I feel like I need a way to finish it. I don't know, we'll work on that.